Can anyone confirm? Are you able to see my screen?
Yes,
Hello.
sir.
Yeah, great. So as I mentioned yesterday, so today we're going to be covering a list concept with detailed inbuilt functions and programs. Okay. So as I mentioned already, it is a collection. So that means where we can store or where we can put together as a group of elements. So it's a collection of, as I mentioned already, different data type we can call. Okay. Why? Because it is a special feature. I can say that compared to other languages. Okay, when we go for Java or C, an array is a collection of same data type elements only. So that means either you can store all our integers or all our float or all our strings. You cannot merge together as a single collection. But in Python, it allow you to insert or combine the multiple data type elements as a single collection. That is one advantage. And the second difference I can explain here to other languages, in all other languages, like as we mentioned, like Java, C, C++, or .NET, they all support only positive index. That means only positive numbers as an index number that always starts with 0 and ends with size -1. That already you know. But when coming to the Python, it also supports, along with the positive indexing, it supports negative indexing also. So that is also one more point we require to understand. Okay, so anyway, that all we'll see one by one. Okay, but basically it's a collection of different data type elements. As I mentioned already, it supports, the other point is it supports indexing. Okay, both, okay, positive and negative indexing. So both will be supported here. And also it supports slicing. So what do you mean by slicing? Means you can even extract, not even just by index, you can extract the range of data, like means substring or sublist also we can extract. So that approach also we have feasible in the Python. So that is slicing option also we have in the Python. And after that, as discussed yesterday, like list supports duplicates. That means you can insert the duplicate values in a list, or it may optional. Okay, and also you can modify the data. That means initially whatever the data we have, to that you can add, delete, update, whatever you want to do the operations you can do on the respective list. So that's why we called it is mutable object. Okay, so that means we can always have a right to modify the data on the list. And after that, coming to the list creation. Okay, so list can be created in two ways. Okay, list can be creation in two ways. One is simply by using notation of the list. That is, let's take example. I want to define names. Okay, so simply you can write empty square brackets, or you can define some names by default in the respective square brackets. Like example, let's take, let's take Krishna. Okay, so likewise you can define the data within the list. And as I mentioned already, you can also combine the data with different options. Let's take example, I'm giving employee name Satish, and let's take employee salary, I'm giving 20,000, and employee job, let's take manager, and let's take city, I'm giving as Hyderabad, and let's take, I'm giving scale as a 8.0. Okay, so likewise you can combine the multiple data type elements as a single list, or individuals same type also you can merge it. But the very traditional approach of creating the list is you can use the square brackets. Okay, the another way of creating the list is, let's take example, I want to define let's take numbers as a list. So where you can define simply list open closed bracket. So this is we called here the list is called, you can call constructor, or I can say that a list function which will help us to create a empty list. Okay, so or we call list function which will help us to create an empty list as similar to the square brackets. So the list of is also see, it is one advantage is used to create an empty list. Okay, so this will create an empty list. Okay, and similarly it also can convert, I mean to say typecast into list item. So if you want to convert a tuple into list, a set into list, there also you can use this particular list constructor, list function only. Okay, so this can be also used, this can be used for typecasting. used for typecasting, okay, or converting into list. Okay, so this is the different ways of creating the list in the Python. So basically two approaches. One is by using the notation of square brackets. The another is by using the list function. So by using both the ways, we can able to create the list in the Python. Okay, so this is the way of creating the list in Python. So now how it is internally storing or memory organizing means, let's take example. If I'm considering, let's take taking an example of, so I'm taking values as a list. I'm taking, okay, so where I'm storing, let's take 10 no 20 10 no 30 20 40. So this is my list, just image. Okay, so as I mentioned, right, it also allow the duplicates, so I'm taking some duplicates also. Now how this data will be stored out, or how this indexing will be working out means that always the starting value will assign the 0 as an index, and the last value will assign as a size -1. Okay, so how it will allocate, I will just represent a simple way so that you can easily understand. Yeah, you see, let's take example. If you consider the same array, okay, so whatever the array we taken, so I'm taking here itself the same array. Okay, so let's take 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma 40, sorry, 10 comma 10 comma 20 30 20 40. This is the array what we taken just before. Okay, so now how this data will be stored, sir, ante it will allocate a sequential memory location. So here it will allocate the simply sequential, like regular memory. So let's take, I'm taking that one. Okay, so let's take, this is a sequential memory location. Okay, so here the first value will be 10, and the second one will be 20, and the remaining 30 here. Sorry, let's the another one is also 10. And the next one again it's 20. The next one 30. Okay, so likewise the data whatever we have in the above list will be allocated in the internal memory. So now the entire name will be commonly whatever we define as a name. So let's take, in this case the entire name will be values only, there's no doubt in this. Okay, so now only the difference we are indicating by indexing. Let's take the first one is indicating by 0 index. Okay, the second one 1, and the next one 2, and the next one 3, and the next one 4, and the next one 5, and the next one 6. Okay, so likewise we can assign the indexes from 0 to size -. So if you observe the array size, so here if you consider the total elements in the array is 7. So if you clearly observe 10 20 10 20 30 20, so the total values we have here is 7. So the length of the list is 7, but the last index always starts with 6 because it starts with 0. Okay, now also I mentioned, right, so we can also give the negative index. Then how can we give the negative index, sir? Means, so the negative index will starts with last to start. So that means the 40 is positive means 6 index, right? So negative is started with now -1. Similarly 20 will be -2. Okay, and now 30 will be -3. Similarly -4 -5 -6, and the last value will be here -7. So likewise the negative index also will be assigned to the same values. So both ways you can use it now. Now both forward direction into positive values or negative direction also you can use it. Like example, if you want to mention the 10, just imagine that. So now you can write list of, let's take assuming VR. So VR, you can write 0, okay, or you can write VR minus 7. So both will give you the same output in the Python. So both positive index or negative index will give you the same output only. So this is what the supporting of the positive and negative and how it is internally storing the data into the list. So please, whenever I'm using the indexing, so please consider this in the keep in the mind so that you can easily understand what is the index I'm using. Okay. Now come back to our logic. Okay, as I mentioned, right? So now in this case, as I mentioned just before, so if I'm writing, let's take values of 0 or values of minus 7. So we'll give you the same value called, what is that? 10. Similarly, if I'm writing values of 6 or values of minus 1. So here it will give the 40. So likewise, the each value what we have in the list can be retrieved by using a index number which is associated with the respective value. So this is the way you can have a kind of a quick approach to retrieve the data from the list by using indexing. So this is we call indexing. Indexing means by using index numbers we can able to retrieve the data. Now come back to the slicing. As I mentioned, right, supports also slicing. So that means you can give the range of the indexes. Like example, values of, if I'm writing 0 to 3. Okay. So what sir it indicates means which includes internally index from 0, 1, 2. It does not include the 3. So 3 is taken as a border value. So it only considers the 0, 1, 2. So that means your output now values of 0, that is 10, values of 1, that is 20, and again that is 10. So this is your output now. So likewise, if you want to retrieve a portion of the list as another list, so that is what we called list slicing or sub list, I can say that. Okay, so if you can extract some portion of the list as a new list into the any other variable. So this is what we call slicing. So like here you can use, let's take values of, let's take 3 colon 6. If I'm writing, so what is our outcome will come? So 3, it includes 3, 4, 5. It does not include the 6. So now the outcome will be here. If you see 0, 1, 2, 3. So 3 means it is 30, 4 means 20, and 5 means it is 40. Yeah. So likewise, the indexing and slicing will work in the Python collections. And these options are available for all the collections, not only for list, it is applicable for tuple, set, and dictionary. For all, it is available. Okay. But we'll see one by one. Today we'll more focused on the list concept. Okay. So till the point, if anybody have any doubt, please ask me. Otherwise, I will go to the next topic. So till the point means how to create the list and how to print the values from the list using either indexing or slicing. So these are the 2 points I explained till the point. So did anyone have any doubt? Please ask me. Otherwise, I will go to the next point. Any doubt? Okay, fine. So now we have some inbuilt properties or methods to work on the list to perform some basic operations. Let's take example. If you consider here only, so whatever the list we have here, I'm taking the example of that one only. So how it will work. So we have some set of inbuilt methods, like example len. So len of values will give you the length of the what we can say that list. So how many values we have here? 6. So it will return the 6. Similarly, we have all common functions like min of values. So we'll give you the minimum of the value, that is 10. Similarly, we have a max of list. So max of here it is 40. Similarly, we have sum of list. So that is sum of values. So these are all inbuilt methods on the list which we can directly use on wherever in the program required. Like if you see here 40, 50, 20, 60, 90, 100, 130. And the final one, average. So average also available. The average of values will be the 130 by, so sum of the values by number of the values. Number of the values 6. So you can define, I think, something 6 to the 12. 6 1 6 point, so it is almost 40, right? So 6 36, so somewhere 6 will come. Okay, so this is the average. So these are the some 5 inbuilt methods which are directly we can work on the list whenever you require. Similarly, there is a keyword called del keyword, so which is used to a specific value in the list or entire list also. So simply if I'm writing del values, so there is no more values available, it is get deleted by the del keyword. So del is used to permanently delete the entire list. So that means del values, if you return in the program, the value list will be completely deleted from the program. Okay, but if you want to delete specifically one particular value, you can mention like that also, like example values of 3, assume that. So now it will delete third value, and that means it is a third index, so which is indirectly fourth value, it will be get deleted. So likewise, you can use the del keyword also. So del is a keyword, or I can say that a constructor which will destructor which is used to delete the data from the respective list which is in the program. So any doubts till the point? Any doubt? So along with these methods, we have some built-in functions also on the list. So some built-in functions on the list are, I will tell you the headings and I will go with practically of showing the output on the screen. Okay, so the first one we have, like as we know, append. So append is used to add a new element to the list. How append will work, I will explain in the PyCharm directly, so you can easily understand. And similarly, we have extend option also. So extend will help you to combine the two or more lists as a single list. And after that, we have index to get the know the index of the given value. And count we have, so count is used to get the count of the value which will be available in the list. Okay, and similarly we have some other options also, like example sort we have, and reverse. So by the name you can understand sort is used to sort the data, reverse is used to reverse the values in the list, and we have to delete the data, we have clear method which will clear all the values in the list, and there is a pop method which will delete the last element, and there is a remove method which will remove the specific element in the list. So likewise, we can use these functions or methods which will are by default available in the list. So we can operate wherever you require in the application. So now we'll go for execution. Whatever the points I covered, I will execute one by one, so you can easily understand, and also I will show you the this functional execution example, so you can clearly understand. And before going to the execution, the final touch up is, if I want to print the list all the values, the very traditional approach we have for loop. So for value in values, we can use list collection name values, and simply you can write print value. So now it will print all the values in the list. This is already you know. So for loop is a very good the tool to extract the data, to print the data from the list as a outcome. So this is a good source of working. So for loop is used to print the values from the list. We are very rarely we are using while loop, but for loop is best option. Or else the another range also we can use, like example for I in range of. So starting value always starts with 0 index, and end value always will be length of the values. I mean to say list values. So like this also you can use, like print now we can use values of y. So these are both the ways you can print the data from the list all together as a console. Okay. So this is the way how can we retrieve or print the data from the list. So till the point, please ask me if you have any doubt. Otherwise, I will go to the PyCharm to do the experiments on this particular concepts, whatever I explained on the just before. Okay. So please ask me if you have any doubts. Don't hesitate to ask any doubt. Okay, fine. So I'm sharing my what you can say that pie chart. So could you anyone confirm whether you're able to see my pie chart screen or not? Could anyone confirm that? Okay, great. So I'm taking a list as an example here. So new Python file I'm taking. First, I'm going for list demo one. Okay. So where I will showcase that how to create a list and everything. So let's take, as I mentioned already. So first approach will be, so we can store an empty list like this. Okay. And now if I'm printing the values, it will give an empty list, very simple, straightforward. Okay. So I'm running this program. So now you can able to see the empty list, see that here empty list. Similarly, as I mentioned, instead of this, you can write simply stuff like this also you can write. So if I'm running the same program, you will also get the empty list, see that empty list only getting. So in the both the ways, you can able to get the empty list if you required at any program. Now I'm going to be creating a list of some values. Let's take 10, 20, 10, 30, 20, 10, 40. Okay. So these are the values what I have in the list. So now if I'm printing the values, you can able to see all the values as a list. Okay. So now if I want to print value by value, then we can use for loop as I mentioned just before. So for value in values. Okay. And now here you can print the value. So now what happened, each individual value will be extracted from the list and will print on the console. Now you see all the values will be printed, you see. So 10, 20, 10, 30, 40 like that. The individual values are printing now. Okay. And similarly, there is another approach as I mentioned. So first one, directly you can print the values object, and the second one as I mentioned, you can print by using for loop. Okay. The other approach also as I mentioned, right? So like here if you want to print in the single line, so you can use end of. Okay. So now you can run all the values will be printed in the single line, see that. Okay. And now you can also print range function also using, so for I in range of. Okay. So here sorry, starting index 0, and as I mentioned, the last will be always indicating the length, because as the input maybe increase or decrease, I'm not sure what is the length dynamically, so we have to better to use the function, so it will get the length of the list dynamically whatever the data we have. Okay. So now length of values, and now print. So if I'm printing I, it will print the index. Don't confuse, don't print the I value. It will print the I as an indexing. But I want, what I want here, I want the values, not the indexes. Okay. So here you see 0, 1, 2, 3 coming, right? So instead of that, let's take, I'm going for printing here to make it new line, this line. Okay. Yeah, you see. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are printing. So now instead of I, you can print the values of I, so that your actual values will be retrieved. So now you see your actual values will be printed. Now see both the lists are showing same data. See that. So both the approaches as per your requirement you can use in your regular programming. Okay, there's no rule that we should use only range or we should use directly for value and values. Not that, we can use any of that options. Okay, so this is a simple way of printing the data. And now I'm just going for, see, I hope you understand, right? Please ask me doubts if you have. Don't sit idly or don't listen idly. Okay, so if you have any doubts, you can ask me. I will repeat. Otherwise, I will keep move on to the next concept. Okay, fine. So now, as I mentioned, we can also retrieve the data simply by using indexing also. Let's take example here. You see print, I want to print the third value. So values of, you can give the 2. So now it will give the third value, that is here, it is 10. See that the specific value you can able to retrieve. So by using indexing also you can able to retrieve, and also you can able to retrieve the values as I mentioned, slicing. So let's take a given 2 to 4. Let's take 2 to 5, assume that. So now it will give the 2 to 5 range of values, see 10, 30, 20, if you see here. So likewise, what I'm trying to explain, in Python, it supports both indexing and slicing. So means If you want to retrieve the individual value, you can use the index, or if you want to retrieve the a list of values from the existing list, you can use the slicing. Okay, so both the options are available in the Python. And now after this, as I mentioned, we have some set of inbuilt methods, like we can try to use them. So let's take example del if you are using. So del values I'm writing. So as I mentioned, so print values I'm again doing that. So if you see here what happened, so I'm printing the values again, I'm deleting and printing. So obviously after deletion it won't be available. So now it will show some kind of error. See that. So now you see in the line number print values does not define, because in line number 6 what happened, before that we deleted, so it doesn't show that. So now I'm changing to just 2. It means it is deleting only second value but keeps the entire list as is. So what is the second value here? It is 10. So now it will give the 10, 20, 30 like that. So now if I'm running, see after deleting what happened, you see one value deleted, see that. So before the in between the value 20 and 30, the 10 is deleted now. So likewise, you can delete the specific value, or you can delete the entire list also. So this is the del keyword. Okay. And similarly, as I mentioned, the other functions we have, right? That also you can utilize like this only. Example. See, but del is a keyword, so we can directly utilize like this. But remaining all are functions, so we can use the functions by using list object. Okay. So let's take example. Yeah, first one we can start append. Okay, so let's take values dot append. Okay, I'm giving, let's take 10. So now what happened, let's take here append 10 means the 10 will be added to the respective values. So let's take, we can go some other value, in that case 50. Okay, so now what happened, after the 40 the 50 will be added. What do you mean by append? Means it always add the given value to the end of the list. Okay, it always add end of the list. The 50 will be added to the last to the 40. So like this it will add. So the append method will add always. So append will add to the end of the list. Okay, so list and it will add. Okay, now if I'm adding the, see there is one difference. What I want to show is, if you adding the single value, it is straight away adding, right? But if I'm adding values to append, let's take I'm adding as a list, one more list. Assume that here I'm adding 60, 70. Okay, so now what happened means, it does not add as a value, it will add as a list itself. That means it will create a nested list. See that after 50, if you clearly observe the console, after 50 the 60, 70 as added as a list directly. So it not dividing the values, it is concatenated as a list itself. So this is also we call nested list. Nested means one list within the another list. So we called in general way two-dimensional arrays, right? Similarly in Python we have nested list also. That means one list you can combine the multiple list also. After this after this all functions and everything, will coming to that topic also, how to use the nested list and where to use that all. Okay, but try to understand append method will add the content to the end of the list as is. It will does not extract the data, just keep add the as it is data. But the quite opposite is extend. So if you are using extend here in the same in this place, now you see the output, the difference. The 60 and 70 will be added as a value. See that it does not add a list. So this is the major difference between the extend. So extend does not add as is the list or object. It will extract the data and will merge it to the existing list. In simpler words, I can say that extend will concatenate the two lists. So it will combine the two lists as a single list and it will show the output. So this is the major difference between append and extend. And finally, we have insert. So insert is used to add the data at specific value. Let's take example. I want to insert third position only, because append will always add to the last only, right? But here insert you can add at your required position. So let's take here I'm adding the 100 at the third position. See here, if I'm running at the third position, initially it is 30 is there, but now 30 will be moved to fourth position and 100 will be added to the third position. So likewise you can insert at your required position of the list. So this is the another method which will be used to add the data to the list, that is insert. So insert index comma value. Whereas append only it will take value and by default it will be at the end of the list. And extend will take a list as a generally input and it will concatenate both the list. Okay. And now the other four methods, like if you see index count, these are only retrieval methods, so that are not for doing the operations. Like example, so just after this I'm just printing that. See, print, let's take, I want to values of dot index of, let's take, I'm giving 10. So here we have so many 10s, right? But this index always will give the first 10 only. Okay, so it does not go to the I mean to say, it does not take up the other values. It only takes the first occurrence of the given value only. So let's take example, if I'm running the values of index of 10, it will give the 0 because the 10 is available in the 0 itself along with other, but it takes the first occurrence only. For example, if I'm giving 20, it will give the first occurrence, that is 1. So likewise, we can get the index of the given values. Okay. Similarly, print, there is a method as we explained, count. So count means how many times the value is there. So let's take example, if you consider here, count of 10 means 10 how many times? 1, 2, 3 times is there. So now it will print the 3 as an outcome. See that 3 as an outcome. So that means index will tell you where the respective given value first available, but count will tell you how many times it is available in the given list. Okay. Similarly, if I'm having the data, definitely will give the respective values. But if the value is not available, so let's take, I'm giving here 200 and here let's take, I'm giving something 200. Okay, but 200 is not available in the list. Now you can observe what is the output. See here, if you see clearly, the index is showing an error because 200 is not in the list. Okay, so I hope you understand now. Okay, so now I'm getting back to count. So count does not give the error, but is giving the 0 as an outcome because 200 is not at all present, so it's giving the 0. So please try to understand these negative cases also. Okay, and then we have sorting manner. It's already there in the sort. Yeah, it's a C. 10, 20, 10 again there, 30, 20, 10 is there, right? Now you want to print the data in the sorting manner. Resume that. Now simply values dot sort. Simple. So now you can print the values. What happened? It will give all the sorted array. So you will get a sorting array of the data. See, initially it is printing 10, 20, but after the 10, 10, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 like that. Order wise it's printed. In the same way, if you want to reverse it, yes, you can reverse also. So now the same data will be printed in reverse order. So that means descending order, you see. So now 10, 10. So the quiet reverse array is printed by using reverse method. So these are all our display methods, we can say that. So this doesn't do any operations on that, but we can call them as a like retrieval methods, we can call them. So please tell me any doubts if you have till the point. I will give you 1 minute of time. Just let you clear yourself and tell me if you have any doubts. So I will meanwhile I will write one of that. The extend list means will concat the lists. Okay, and insert means will add at given index, and index means will return index of first occurrence of given value. Count means will return number of occurrences. Okay, number of occurrences of given value, how many times it is repeatedly there. And sort, you know, will sort the array, will sort the list. Reverse means will reverse the list, and straightforward. Now clear means will remove all values, but list will be there, but it will remove the values only, but all the values. And the pop means will remove last value, will remove last value. and remove means specified value. So remove will take value as an argument. So we'll remove specified value. So these are the different methods which are available in the functions. So now we'll come back to this last three methods. Okay. So here I'm just removing all the stuff. Okay, to make it clear. And now here this is also I'm removing. Now you see. So first one I'm using values dot clear. Okay. So as I mentioned, right, clear will delete all the data. See, initially is printing all the values, but after clear it is giving empty array. So that means it has removed everything. And similarly you can use pop method. So pop will remove the last value, that is 40. You see 40 is removed. The last one you have remove. So remove, you can specify the element whichever you want to remove from the list. So now 30 is removed from the list, you see. And remove also will remove the only one first occurrence. It doesn't remove all the values at a time. So any more doubts in the deleting methods? So this is very, very important topics and collections is. Okay, fine. And now finally, we have some of the inbuilt functions also, right? I'm trying to explain that. So for example, length of the value. So as you know, what is the length here? It is 7, right? So now you can print it. It's giving 7. Similarly, you can use min. Min means minimum of the list, that is 10. See that 10 is coming. Similarly, we have max. So max of the list will give you the max of the list. Similarly, you have sum of the list. It is 140 as a total sum. And we have average. So now, sorry. Oh, sorry, average is not available. It is available in the math folder. Okay. So for that, we require to do import math, I guess. We'll check it out. Math dot, okay, average. Oh no, average is not available. Okay. So you can remove the average function. So average is not available as part of the inbuilt functions. This one, this is not available. Okay. So till the sum it is available. Okay. So these are the different functions which are available as inbuilt in the list, and we can use them as per our requirement. Okay. So here as of now we covered what is list and how to create a list, and after that we covered like how to initialize the list and how to use indexing and slicing, and then after how to delete it and different functions on the list we covered as of now. So still if you have any doubts, please ask me. Otherwise, I will go to the next point. Any doubts as of now? Okay, so I'm not hearing anything. So there is a concept called list comprehension also. List comprehension. So what do you mean by list comprehension, sir? You can able to create, so able to create a list from the existing list. Okay, existing list in single line. So no need of writing multiple lines of code. In single line, we can able to create a new list from the existing list. So that is what we call list comprehension. So what is exactly means of that, I will explain briefly so you can understand. Assume that there is a list called, let's take some values we have. Let's take example here, 10, let's take comma 5, let's take 20, let's take 67, let's take 89, let's take 34. This is my list, very simple one. Okay. So now what I want to do from this list, I want to create a new list called even list. What is that? Even list. So this is what I want to create here. So this even list should contain only the even numbers from this particular existing list. So this is also a list, there's no doubt. But now I want to print all the even numbers from this, and I want to put it into this particular even list. So for that, what we require to do is the very traditional for loop we can use. So for x in values. So now what this for loop will do, it will get each time one value from the list which is called values, one value from the values. Okay. So now first time definitely what is there, 10, second time 5, third time 20. Likewise, the each and every value what we have in the list, it will retrieve. Now we want only even numbers, right? So now I'm checking if x percentile 2 equal to 0. So what it means, it's an even number, you know, right? So if something is divisible by 2 successfully, it indicates it's an even number. So now that number, so whenever it is divided by 2, at that time, I'm appending to the even list. Appending means it will add the value, that x. So now you can print this even list. Okay, now you got it, the even list value. See that 10, 20, 34. And it's a purely dynamic. Now if you are adding something else values also, it will retrieve the data. See that 90 is also will include now. See, this is even list, right? So likewise, you can do any operation on the values, not only even, like such kind of question if you ask anybody, like odd list, or if you want to print the prime numbers from the given list, or if you want to do some sum of the given list. So whatever the operations you want to perform on the list, the basic operation, you have to traverse the list by using for loop first. And within the for loop, you should write the logic or the condition as per the new requirement or as per the guidelines which is given by the question. Okay, so that is the way. Now how many lines it taken to get your output? So if you write a simple logic, see 1, 2, 3, 4 lines are taken, right? So by using these 4 lines, we are achieving the what we required even number list. But the same thing you can achieve in the single line using list comprehension. So that is the beauty of the list comprehension. So these kind of problems, you don't require to write a big logic. You simply write in one line. So that will give you a result. So like example, even list, let's take 2, I'm taking even list 2. So that is the first one, right? Even list 2 is equal to, write the square bracket open and close, and write whatever the for line you written, right? Write that here for x in values. Okay, so what is the condition in line number 5? So that you can write here, if x percentile 2 equal to 0. And now whatever the even list dot append x is there at line number 6, that you can add first. So the variable x, that's it. Now this single line also will give you the same output. That is the beauty. Print even list, sorry, even list 2. So now you see I'm running, both outputs will be same. See that we can compare the both outputs, both are looking same only. So now that is what we call this line, whatever I written, this is we call list comprehension. So that means for whatever the for we have to write, and after that whatever the conditions you have to include, and the value which you want to append, that you have to put it as a starting. Okay, simple. That's the basic concept, nothing more logically. Okay, so now this is this single line whatever I written, this is we call list comprehension. Okay, I will share the links also for your better reference. You can maybe go little more deeper wise also, but this is all about your list concepts what we have in the Python. So if you have any doubts, please ask me. I will wait 2 more minutes. So otherwise we can go for maybe one more program and we can sign off the class for today. So tomorrow we'll start tuple and set. Any doubts as of now? Super clear. Okay. Any other doubts? Anyone? Any others? And most probably today I will share the even backup videos for all your pending backups. Like mostly last week I don't have time to share it. So today I will try to upload into cloud, and I will share all the links to you in the group so that you can go through the links also. So by the way, I'm forgot to ask you, like how is the class going on? Like, are you people able to understand, or I'm going little fast or not clear? So can you give me any feedback on that? So how is the class going on? Is it understandable or just going one way direction? So what is your opinion? Can anyone, or if you have a time to give any feedback? I think you are busy to speak because you people doesn't speak much more. Hello, are you there? Okay, Akileshwar, good. Other people?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Okay, thank you. So if you're facing any problem while you're practicing or while you're getting your clarification, please contact me in the chat, or if you feel not really feel comfort to group chat, you can ping me personally also. I'm always help you people to clear your concepts and clear your doubts, okay? But my humble request is to please do the practice regular basis so that you can get more knowledge. And again, I'm telling them, if you pay the 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 to other side institutes, or even me also, that people also will teach the same thing. There's no additional they will teach, but only the thing how you are utilizing us, so how you are questioning us, or how you are using us, that is more important. Please spend good time so you are getting I'm telling, right, like I maybe cover more detailed the concept, so please try to understand and ask me if you have any doubts. Okay, yeah, anyway, come back to the point. So now we have some more like time, right? Okay, I mean 10 minutes of time we have. So I will cover one more example, okay, by using our methods what we covered so far. So let's take, I'm taking list demo 2, okay. So what I want to do here is, let's take, I'm taking a list, okay, where I'm giving the some values here. Let's take example, okay, 40, 50, let's take 10, okay, 20. So let's take, this is the my list. So what I want to do here is, I want to print each value how many times it is occurred, or each value how many times it is there in the list. Let's take example. I mean to say each value along with the count of that particular value. So here it is very simple. So we have a count function, right? We can utilize that by straight away we can use it. But before that, like we can, because see, if you're using directly, what happen, you see, for x in li, this is, as you know, iterating for each value in the list. So you can simply print x followed by, okay, x followed by, let's take, I'm giving arrow, and after that you're simply giving that, what is that, li dot count of x. So what it will do, it will give the each value followed by how many times it is repeating in the list. Very simple logic. See, if I'm running this program, see that each value how many times it is printing is giving, like 10 3 times, 20 2 times, 31 time, 41 time, 51 time. But unfortunate thing, see, 10 again it's taken as a printed. See that 2 times 10 is printed because like we have value in that, right? But it should not be, right? So for that, first you require to remove the duplicates from the list and keep the iteration the same values. So for that, there is an option like, let's take, I'm giving unique list, okay, unique li. I already explained yesterday, there is a collection called set, right? Set will help you to remove the duplicates from the list. So simply you can write set of li. So set of li will remove the duplicates from the this particular list. Now this unique li will take here. So now what happened? It will only iterate the each value for one time. It does not take the much more time. Okay. So now you can run it. See that each value uniquely we are getting, and the count of the respective values is printing. So likewise, you can use in the wherever you require. It's a combination of set and list, right? So likewise, we can combine the multiple collections also. But here the idea is you are printing the each value uniquely with its count of the occurrences. So how many times it is occurring, along with that count we are printing. Okay. So likewise, we have so many questions, so that I will share with you as a task list. Please try to practice them, and if you have any questions, you can ask me in the next class. Okay. So today, even a time permits, I will share that task list also. If not today, tomorrow definitely I will share the list. Okay. And tomorrow we'll spend two topics, that is tuple and set. But as I mentioned, these are not that much important. But we should understand, or we should know what is there and how it is different from others. That's why what we covered. But the next topic, day after tomorrow, we are going to planning to do the dictionary. That is again very important, and where also we'll cover more these details. Okay, more kind of functions. Yeah, so that's all for today. So please ask me if you have any doubts before closing the class. If not, yeah, we are happy to close the class and have a great week, evening. Bye-bye. So any doubts, I will wait for a few minutes. You can ask me. Otherwise, we can sign up the class. So no doubts. Shall I quit? Okay. Bye-bye.